Welcome back. Well, our next guest is a gut intelligence coach. Susan Worley made six figures by the age of 28 with a Fortune 1000 company, started her own executive coaching business, and has written 9 books. The two most recent being Gut Intelligence, The Wisdom to Know, and the Truth to Do, and the Guts to Do Something About It, and The Yogi Executive. We're so excited to have here. Susan joins us with ways to navigate these unprecedented times by paying attention to our intuition. Good morning to you, Susan.
Good morning, Tiffany. Virtual hug.
You too. I know we can't do those lately, and they feel good even virtually. I'm so excited to have you here. You know, when you've been on with your book before, I've read your book, and I think it's phenomenal. And I want to talk about what the gut intelligence process is exactly, because and how it helps us navigate these uncertain times. Because you've received a patent and been able to trademark this process.
I did. Yes, I was doing the process for many years. I've had my own business for 30 years. And I practiced this with my clients where I would notice that when they were hitting unprecedented times, they were fearful in navigating it, like, the times we're all in. And when people get fearful, they stop breathing deeply into their gut. And what happens is we get in this amygdala part of our brain that really sends us into this fight or flight reaction. And it limits our possibilities of what we can do. So I've been practicing this gut intelligence process, which begins with this deep breathing in the gut. And it slows down the brain waves so that we can actually connect the gut, heart, and head. There's a vagus nerve that goes through the gut, heart, and head. And when we practice this deep breathing in these 3 steps I'm going to share with you in a moment, we actually get to a different part of our brain. It's called the amygdala, which is the fight flight. We bypass that and we get to the executive functioning part of our brain, which allows us to tap into intuition.
And that in turn allows us to make better decisions and be confident and calm and when we're doing risk-taking things as well, right? Because we're doing all that. So let's break down the steps, because your first step is to own it.
So the first step is to really own that gut alert. And keep in mind, you've been doing this deep breathing, so you've quieted your mind. You're in that more, as you said, clear, calm, and confident space. And now you get a gut alert, and this gut alert tells you that something's not quite right. So that could be anything from you're listening to news and something's not adding up, or it could be something that, you're being asked to go back into the workplace, but you haven't heard anything on safety procedures yet. Or maybe you're going to go out for fish fry Friday night and you're just about to walk into that restaurant and you get a gut alert that's like, ooh, I shouldn't be here. So the first step is to just really own it. Something is telling you to pause and something's not quite right. So then the next step is to ask it. And ask it means we're asking to connect with that intuitive part of our brain. What we're doing is we're saying a question. How might I question? How might I deal with this? How might I deal with this? I had reservations to meet some friends for Friday night fish fry, but I don't feel good about this. How might I deal with this? I'm being asked to go back to work, but I don't think they have safety procedures in place. How might I deal with this? The world is saying one thing in the media, but my gut's saying something else. How do I deal with this? So when we ask that problem-solving question and we continue to breathe deeply into our gut, intuitive speaks to us. It gives us this aha knowing of a solution that is just right for us. And the reason we're able to do that is there's this corpus callosum in the brain that when we breathe deeply, we open that up and we're able to access both the left and the right hemisphere of the brain and better problem solve with our intuition.
So we've got to voice it. That's the third step. I just want to make sure I don't miss one.
Yep. So the third step is to voice it. Now, this, believe it or not, sometimes is the hardest step. We can own it, our gut alert, we can ask it, we can hear intuitive, but so many times people have a hard time just owning it because there's this fear. There's this fear that other people might say, oh, this is your silly imagination, or, oh, that's not right. They may disagree with us for whatever reason. So to voice it and execute on it can be a risk. It can be a situation where we have to negotiate with other people. And sometimes people are like, oh, it's not worth it. So it's really important that we practice all 3 steps of this gut intelligence when we're in these unprecedented times, or we can really lose ourselves in this maze.
So let's hear about the difference between men and women, because as I mentioned in the open, women are better at hearing their intelligence, but men are better at executing that gut intelligence.
That's right. So it's interesting. There's a study called the McKinsey study, and they evaluated men and women under 19, what they called leadership characteristics. But if you really break it down, here's what we found. 17 of those characteristics women outranked men in. And those 17 really are summarized by saying it's emotional intelligence and intuition. You know, women get that ping in their gut faster because, again, there's this corpus callosum in the brain. Both men and women have it, but with women, it's more like a 4-lane highway, where with men, honestly, it's more like a dirt road. So they have a hard time going back and forth. You know, it just is what it is. You know, we can go back and forth. We can get a gut alert. We can put words to it. We can process it. We can go back and we can think about it, where men kind of get stuck in one of the hemispheres. So women do get the cues at the tip of the iceberg faster. And sometimes we can be really impatient with men about that. And it's really not their fault. It's a function of the brain. But research has shown that these two characteristics that men do better on have to do with the guts to do something about it. While they may not see the cues as quickly, once they see it, they take a risk, they negotiate, they execute. So ladies, we got it when it comes to intuition. You know, we see what's going on, but we just need to have the guts to do something about it and take a risk.
We got to trust ourselves. I'm going to give everybody the information for how to get your books, learn more about you and all the coaching you do as well. So good to see you, Susan.
You too. You too. Yes. bizremedies.com. They can see all my programs, books on there. I have several different programs, one-on-one coaching. I have the Yogi Executive Program. I have a Women's Leadership Roundtable and an online platform with all these different ways that you can learn about gut intelligence. But I do have a free webinar that's coming up that everybody should sign up for. It's right on my website, bizremedies.com. It's next Wednesday, July 8th from 7:30 p.m. to 8:30. And I'm going to go through these 3 techniques. In fact, I'm going to take you through the deep breathing, through the meditation, so you know how to do it. I'm going to take you through these 3 steps with the situation that you want to navigate, something in your life that, you know, you feel unclear about.
Right.
We're going to get you clear, calm, and confident.
Thank you so much, Susan. We love it. To learn more about Susan, you can visit those websites and the gut intelligence process. You can also visit our website, themorningblend.com.